good to do is blind yourself and then try to see what he's looking at. One finger, which finger was he waving?
We live? Hi, welcome back to the National Press Photographer Association Best of Photojournalism Multimedia Contest. We're on the campus of Ohio University with our esteemed judges, including Kimberly Mitchell, Brent Lewis, and Kenny Irby. We have a team of volunteer students, faculty, and staff of the School of Visual Communication. We're here to help celebrate and select the best work in this field from the past year. The judges have reviewed all of the entries prior to coming to campus. They have narrowed their selections. We have pulled the top handful that we're going to discuss, and we will walk through those. Again, they have already seen them in their entirety, so we are mostly here to discuss what's worked and what's good about these entries. So if we'll start with the one there, thank you, Jorge, the upper left, yep, good job.
hadi taki ata de kurolo ata di phasi taki ma hata kish mon ture pher ture lata sab kuna dikhi
Speak to what works well?
I think giving the voices to the children, letting them speak about the atrocities that happen. I mean, they're innocent, they're not biased, they're just telling very calmly, actually, what happened to them, but what they describe is so horrible. I just feel like for the videographer to have that presence of mind and to focus on the children and let them tell what happened is very significant and important. If you also think about the government trying to deny what happened and all of that wrapped into it, makes it very powerful. They also shot it where it was like the background was blacked out, so you could just look at the child's face. I don't know if they shot it inside, in the dark, or they just had a bright light. But I think that works too, to kind of get you to focus in on just them and their face.
Yeah, the horror that these children have experienced is profoundly communicated through their eyes. And you can't help but be moved and drawn into kind of patient innocence that they describe, the horror that they've been through, right? It is really transfixing.
Yeah.
The cadence of their voice.
Exactly. It's super captivating, and just the innocent way that they kind of tell these atrocious stories. Like, I feel like if you talk to an adult about that, you get a whole different, kind of, not a different version of the story, but you just have like a different emotion tied to it. But just the way that it was communicated, just honestly sends chills down my spine, just thinking about what they had to go through and what they had to see. So yeah.
And the detail of the scar
Yes.
was cinematically well captured, you know, no flashy lighting, it's just simple one light that was wonderfully interwoven in the narrative that, you know, came back as a reminder that these children, and whether that particular child, has been attacked. It wasn't just what they witnessed, it's what they experienced.
All right, can we go to the right there and this is Journey.
Vi er i gang med at dele redningsvest ud det andet sted på havet. Og så hører vi over radioen, det er Chris fra Tornadoen, den anden motorbåd, som skriger fuldstændig panisk. Der er folk i vandet, folk drukner, der er kaos, der er hul i båden og sådan noget der. Det er vildt, da vi ankommer til scenen. Det er fuldstændig uoverskueligt, hvad det egentlig er, der foregår. Vi kan se, der ligger folk i vandet rundt omkring. Og vi kan se tornadoen, som nærmest er ved at synke, og den er fuldstændig tildækket med folk, der står på den. Det er virkelig ikke en god situation at have folk i vand. Og så er det der, jo flere der hopper i, eller når der først er nogen i, så er der nogen, der hopper i desperation, og lige pludselig er der alt for mange i vandet, til man kan nå at få et overblik og få alle ind. Vi hiver en enkelt en ombord, eller to. Da jeg lige får taget det her billede af den her gruppe mennesker, der ligger nede i vandet med en død gravid kvinde, der ser jeg ikke, at livet af den gravide kvinde er. Lige pludselig forlader vi dem. Det er sådan lidt forvirrende, men det er fordi, det er sindssygt vigtigt, at vi kommer over til de andre og hjælper dem ikke med noget vægt. På vej over, der får jeg lige pludselig øje på Max.
Max, er du okay?
Max, det er en læge på vores hold, som er sprunget i vandet for at redde en kvinde, og han ligger og plopper rundt derude. Der er ikke så mange til at hjælpe, og du er en af dem. Så skal du vælge at være fotograf, eller skal du vælge at være hjælper? Hvis det kommer ud i en situation, hvor jeg bagefter ville kunne sige til mig selv, at jeg kommer til at tage et billede i stedet for måske at redde et liv, så vil jeg have svært ved at løbe videre med det. Så på det mentale plan havde jeg i hvert fald taget den beslutning hjemmefra. 27 år på at være i stand til at fotografere i svære situationer. Den fotograf skulle jeg prøve at undersøge.
One at a time, one at a time. Don't worry, one at a time, one at a time. One and one, one and one. Stay, 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 stay. Stay, stay, one and one. Come on.
Og det gælder bare om og hive i dem, hive deres tøj, hive hvad man kan få fat i. De er glade.
Ja. Listen.
Men for en eller anden. Om næstekærlighed faktisk, eller behandle. Ja, altså. Ja, det bliver virkelig. Det bliver jo enormt. Sådan er det.
Okay. Makes sense. What works?
I think generally I don't like it when the photographer becomes a part of the narrative. But in this instance, I think it works just because what he experienced is, he is a part of it because, you know, going up onto the scene and seeing these people, you know, about to drown and die. He had the presence of mind to put I guess a GoPro or something on his helmet, on his head, and still take pictures, but he talks about battling, saving lives versus taking pictures. And in that instance, you know, I think this is part of the recording because they could all die out there, really, right? If one of those boats popped, or two of them popped, one could have overwhelmed the other one, and they all would have been in the water and dead. But I thought it was very powerful. Seeing the images, seeing the video, and then also hearing him talk about the experience. Just another side of the news that you don't necessarily get to see or hear.
Yeah, and this is one of those pieces that, like, it's about a broader subject of about a broader topic in general. But like, I feel like this moment isn't a thing I've really seen a lot of in a way. Like, I see when people make it to shore, I see when people are leaving, but I never see that in between what kind of happens. You just always hear about, like, well, a boat capsized or something like that, and 50, 100 people died in the experience. And just being able to now be in this moment, as well as hearing his views upon being there, because so many times I feel like we have this understanding that in journalism we're not supposed to be part of the story. We take our step back and we're just like, we're here just to document. And that easily could have happened, but just seeing that did not happen, that's not the way he chose to go, just brings you kind of into the experience in general. It takes that journalistic shroud off, and it's just like, I'm human, I'm here, and this is what I did.
Okay. Go to the next one, please.
That's not the one.
I think the played and then you got.
Yeah, this is still on the politicking page.
So the video probably moved to the next video.
Exactly. Just reload it.
Yeah, reload. Just reload that. Yep.
While we're reloading, I have to say that it's incredibly refreshing after
On election night, I was
having
like,
made that argument my colleague judges made for many, many years as a challenge. This is a teaching moment for the students in the room to really engage in the reality of whether you're a human being before you're a journalist. Years and years we've had this. I mean, that story has a great historical perspective for me. I traveled to Scandinavia and Copenhagen, worked with politicking for many years. And it demonstrates kind of the advance in industry thinking, because for years there would be no discussion about a writer offering a first-person experience. And now for visual journalists to be able, both technologically and journalistically, to offer that compelling perspective, it really advances understanding and demonstrates a big sea change in acceptance as photojournalists as equal members of news gathering teams. And in many instances, as that example represents poignantly, visual journalists have something unique to offer by way of their storytelling skill and their sacrifice, because that is a very dangerous situation that we don't often see, with immigration being probably in the top 3 issues worldwide, to see what happens when people are trying to escape atrocity and danger. Journalists like, peacekeepers and law enforcement and medics are on that front line and can now report with precision and great insight.
Okay. Thank you.
On election night, I was like so overwhelmed with emotion, mainly rage.
And maybe all the small things that have been going on around us just wasn't enough to wake people up to the real big issues.
The value system of this gentleman is just off the wall. I've been totally depressed and in disbelief and outrage since November 8th. And when they announced the march, I thought, wow, I'm going.
I've never marched before, but I did the March from Westlake, the March Against Hate, and a couple others since the election, and it just made me feel so good and so strong and so connected to humanity.
Because later on, I witnessed men making it like a joke. Well, if my president can do it, then I should be able to do it too. And I'm just like, oh no, you'd like to see it try. Don't want my sons to catch wind of stuff like that. Like, of course, my president can do it.
Together, we have all these statements, and
Complacency. I'm just one little person. How can I change anything? But at age 72, tomorrow, tomorrow's my birthday, I will become an activist. At least I have something that I really feel strongly about.
Okay, thank you. Good. Thank you. You don't have to, just if there was a comment you felt compelled. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, yeah?
On Sardinia, a picturesque holiday island in Italy. What connects the two is the global arms trade. Bombs made in Sardinia are being used in Yemen's civil war by Saudi Arabia, and they haven't just hit combatants. We found bomb fragments at the scenes of attacks on civilians. At one site, a family of 6 was killed. Italy isn't the only country arming Saudi Arabia, but our investigation uncovers a massive increase in the export of these bombs in 2017 alone. We spent months tracking these shipments. We reveal how Italy is capitalizing on this brutal conflict to build up its defense industry, and how this has put Italy's leaders at the center of a debate over whether it's violating national and even international laws. What's presented here is a glimpse inside the murky networks that fuel global conflicts. The story begins in Sardinia and the weapons manufacturer RWM Italia. The company knows that Italy's arms trade is a hot-button political issue, and it seems bent on avoiding scrutiny of any kind. They declined to comment on our findings. But local politicians like Mauro Pilli have followed the company's cargo trail for years.
Si tratta di un nuovo carico di morte nel silenzio del porto canale di Cagliari.
He and others have documented over 24 shipments since Yemen's conflict began. We cross-checked this footage with transport documents and traced the cargo from RWM's factory to an airport and these ports in Sardinia. Sometimes the bombs were moved in plain sight, like this cargo at Sardinia's largest civilian airport. We have reporting that this was an urgent order, flown instead of shipped. This was 6 months after Saudi Arabia started bombing Yemen.
Okay.
More recently, the cargo has been loaded on trucks or containers. European experts say that selling these bombs may be illegal.
The Italian law on arms export is one of the most restrictive ones in Europe, and it prohibits export to countries engaged in armed conflict, and Saudi Arabia and its coalition members are engaged in an armed conflict.
Italy may be breaking international law too, which forbids arms exports where there is evidence. Ministers from a town neighbouring the plant have called for a halt to these exports. But this region is one of Italy's poorest, and some locals welcome the jobs. Clearly, this is great for Italy and other Western exporters. But for Yemen, where over 10,000 have been killed, there's nothing good about it.
Okay.
I think for me, the reason I like that video, when we do investigative reporting, sometimes it's really hard to put a video with investigative reporting. I think that not only do they have a video, but it's very well done. They have overhead satellite views, they have actual footage from the bombs being shipped, so maybe it was done by a reporter, I don't know who it was done by, but it is almost, it feels like if you didn't have the video, it wouldn't be as powerful, you know, for the reporting for the story. So for investigative journalism, that video was very powerful to me. And to show that a country might be breaking the law and doing it like blatantly, like what are you going to do about it? I mean, that's why journalists are here, right? That's what we're supposed to do. So that's why I think that video is very powerful.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the graphics usage to help you understand the kind of movement, point by point, you know, from shipment, well, from creation, shipment, and actually, yeah, very insightful explanation. My one quick is that in the news category, and it's probably because we don't have a real investigative category. That this is probably where it most fits, or maybe even in an enterprise place, but that's just an observation.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm in between the two of you, so I did enjoy it. I learned so much from it, but could it possibly like fit? I guess when it fit in like the doc.
Doc, yeah.
It could have fit there. I feel like it would made a little bit more sense because I'm thinking about all the other pieces that were showing in that news category. So did it really fit there? I don't know. I feel like if it was in the doc, I feel more comfortable. But once again, it's a really amazing piece. I think it flows perfectly. You come away with knowledge, and it's really, really investigative. And you get so much information around what's going on a subject that I don't think I didn't know anything about until I saw this, and I was like, oh my God, that's horrendous.
It's kind of like stuff you hear about all the time, right?
Yeah.
About what countries and people are doing, but you have no clue, no way of showing it. This shows it, like, from the evidence and pictures of the bombs, from the Yemen neighbor communities and villages, to tracking it from, you know, all the way there.
Yeah, exactly. And hearing experts talk about it, and just seeing the work that's been put into, even on the Yemen side of things.
And
so
the Italian community too. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're upset. They don't want them to be doing that, putting bombs there, but they have no power because they're poor.
Exactly.
Which is where it all comes from, right?
Yeah.
I would trust that since there isn't a investigative category, that they're looking at this because of the news value of it at the time they reported it.
At the time, yeah.
Okay.
So in hindsight, might it have fit somewhere else? I think it's an appropriate place given what we've got.
Like what we're looking at now, I'll allow it. But yeah, no, I think it's
and an opportunity for NPPA to revisit category constructions. I mean, that's one originally on the panel that wrote many of those categories. Maybe it's time for change.
Well,
actually, can you get it together?
But I think it's recognition, particularly in this division, that it is an evolving, fast evolving, and that it needs to be thought through every time. Okay, Martin Luther King Jr.
I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Let it shine.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love and support each other. We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our change. We have nothing to lose but our change. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. It is our duty to win. We must love and support each other. We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our change. We have nothing to lose but our change.
This one, I really enjoyed that build-up. And the singing audio track just kind of, you don't really know what you're getting into until probably like 30 seconds into it, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm here. I understand this is a protest, and you kind of see it from both sides of everything. You really kind of then dive into what is happening, while you're still getting this understanding of like, just the reasons for, kind of like the reasons of the protest. Like, you get like the Trump signs, and you understand that this is a divided situation. So it really gave a powerful opening to me in a way that kind of drew me in. I wanted to stay. It wasn't like, ooh, look, something else. But like I wanted to ride this one out. So it really jumped out to me.
Yeah. Okay.
I was going to say a little bit different. I feel like in some ways that this videographer was biased. I know I picked this video and I put it up there, but watching it and the intro and how it starts out with the music, and you don't have anybody talking from both sides or any of that, you know, but just the flow and what they chose to focus on and show and how they showed it, it feels biased to me. With the Martin Luther King or the Negro hymn at the beginning, you know, and then
Can we see that? I'm kidding.
whatever. I just did, so let's just record it. And I just feel like, I don't know, like I enjoyed the video. It was kind of the fifth spot for me. But I don't feel like the videographer was fair in their coverage. I feel like it was a little bit one-sided.
I can definitely agree with that. I feel like there was some, like even the few drops of like the two-sided issue were still like not leaned on as heavy as the other side, because you get a little bit of that Trump flag, and you get maybe a little bit of the police presence, and maybe also a little bit of the other side, but it really was on the side of the protesters in this case.
And maybe it's not understanding, like, was this a rally for, what kind of rally was it?
True.
So,
Well, it's missing some things. I think it clearly has a point of view. I don't think it's necessary for me to try to evaluate bias or not, because we all